Hey there, Blib here, and today for you guys I have a video on my UI and how you can set it up and get it, for yourself. Because yeah, I've been meaning to release this video for a long time now. I'm very sorry to the people that have been patiently waiting for this and I keep saying I'm going to release it and I don't release it. I've just been really busy with a lot of stuff and I just keep pushing this video back, and I've remade this video actually 2 times already. This is the third remake of that because I feel like I keep getting it wrong. Hopefully this will be the last release of this and you'll be able to set up this UI fairly simply and quickly. So I'm going to go through all the add-ons I'm using and I'm going to show you how to set them up. So to start with, the most powerful add-on I'm using is ElvUI. I'm going to put a link to a paste bin in the description, and it will have this code right here which you can copy and paste. And then when you go to import profile, which is what you'll do, you'll go to escape, ElvUI, import profile, you'll paste this here, then you'll press import now. When you import, you'll have a new existing profile, which should be blibmm. And when you select this, your UI should change to what I have. And that's like the main portion of the UI setup already done, because ElvUI is where all of this cool stuff is and how everything looks on the screen and the positioning of everything. But there are a few other add-ons I need to show you as well, which you'll need to set up yourself, and some you could just import another string, which I'm going to show you. Also, I'm going to put a link in the description to where you can install all these add-ons, so this should make it quite easy for you guys to put this together. Now for my chat windows, now I have them like this. You can have them set up however you want, but to do this sort of thing, all you need to do is go down here and then press create new window. For example, if I wanted one that's only guild chat, I can then make a new window, go to settings, and disable everything apart from guild chat and go into other channels and other stuff, and you get the idea, right? And then this guild tab will only say guild chat, it can't do anything else. And you can use this to set up just all kinds of windows that you might want for your your thing. So I have my whispers, I'm not going to show you that obviously. I have like my combat log, my guild chat, and just so on. It's just really nice to have all this stuff. That's the stuff you have to set up yourself. This won't show up on yours. But yeah. Now details, I'm using a details add-on for my damage meters and healing meters, because details has a lot of cool stuff on it, some extra plugins you can put in it as well. So I'm using this streamer plugin up here, which is going to have to come with it. Unfortunately, if you don't want that, that's unfortunate. You're going to have to disable this yourself, because I'm going to give you this profile I have right now. Yeah, this details has all this stuff, so I'm going to open this now for you. If I go into the thingy, you can go details options from the chat window. As you can see, I have a few bars here, because these are 2 different windows that you can set up. Yeah, the main reason I'm using details is because there's just so many cool windows and stuff you can set up here. Like I can, go into all of this stuff and just set how I want my details to look and the sort of stuff I want it to show for like Mythic Dungeons, for example. Like merging the trash packs into one group, for example, and just stuff like that. And it also has some cool like things you can track on the side as well, like these spell list stuff and some statistics of the raid bosses that I've done on the kill time and whatnot. And there's also like some custom plugins that you can get, which I really like as well. Like up here you can see I got a encounter breakdown plugin where we can look into more details and things, and we also have an advanced deathlog plugin where we can just have a look at what sort of things people died to over a certain amount of time. And in general, that's just why I really like details, and it's like a really sophisticated recorder of damage and whatnot. So I'm just going to put a profile to my details in the option in the description again. So if you want to install this, you just simply need to go to options and then profiles, and then you go to import profile and paste the string that I will be giving you. And the string I'm going to be giving you is this one here, which is the one for my details, which is named Belmshi Twisting Never. I don't know how to rename this, so I'm sorry about that. This is just simply the profile I set up this details on a long time ago, and I've just kind of iterated on it and used it like this. So sorry about that, but yeah, that you'll just have to make do with the name. And yeah, then you'll just simply come down here and just select to use the Belmshi Twisting Never on all characters, and that should copy over this UI I have set up. Now if you don't want this sequencer in the top left that's going to be showing you all this sort of stuff, then all you need to do is go to plugins and just untick this action tracker, and as soon as you untick the action tracker, it's going to disappear. And if you don't want any of this other stuff as well, you can just untick it, but it's really quick to enable as well if you want it back on. I have all it enabled, but yeah. Anyway, enough of details, sorry I went on quite long there. The next add-on I really recommend you getting, which I use for a lot of things, is Exorsus raid tools. So if I type /ERT in chat, you'll see that this is coming up. It's something that's really amazing because it has so much cool stuff on it. One important thing is this like note, which our raid leader uses. As you can see in the top left here, this is my note right here I have, which I can just see what our raid leader puts in, whether that's interrupts or other things. And you can use this to interact with Weakauras as well. So I like having this enabled. If you just want to like hide the note, you can just go to ERT note like that and it'll hide, and if you open it again, just go to ERT note and it'll pop up again. I have it in the top right because otherwise I just really have nowhere else on the screen I can put it because my raid frames are down in the bottom left. But Exorsus raid tools has some really cool stuff in it that I like using. For example, I have a raid cooldown thing here which I have set up, so at the moment I only have column 10 enabled, and column 10 is simply going to whoops, I didn't have 10 selected, did I? I did, yeah. Okay, but for some reason it doesn't. But you see column 10 here, this is where my PIs are going to show up. So our priest's PIs, if I want to try and steal one of those, then they're down here. I have a little macro here as well, which whispers the person I get PI from, which is amazing. But yeah, that's not the point here. Either way, yeah, I have this like enabled, so I can just easily see the stuff. I also have this one up here, column 3. Column 3 is responsible for showing me like all this important external stuff, like as you can see here, if I can find the column 3, here you are, raise ally, okay, but that's not enabled. Sorry, where is it? I can't find it. So I'm using it to track things like externals. I'm sorry, I don't know why it's not showing up for me right now. Either way, the column 3 is this is tracking like sacrifice, pain sup, and other things, which I can use to kind of get an external cooldown myself if I want it to. If I'm dying in a raid and I have no externals, then I can just look up here and be like, oh, healer, please use PI. Pain suppression on me, which is really nice to have. But in general, that's what I really like about this. And also, obviously, have my battle res timer showing up here in the center here, so I can see how many reses we have. It's nice to have information all the time on that. I put it here because it just fits nicely. And then I also have my combat timer. Now my combat timer is going to sit down here in the bottom left, and I can use this just to know what time we're at on the fight. If you can set it to show only in combat if you want to. I just have it here because it's nice, it's out of the way, and it's just, I feel like having a combat timer in general is just really nice because it gives you a lot of information in the fight. And if you look at logs and want to know where to use your combustions, then you can do that. That's why I use Exorsus raid tools. I think it's really cool, and yeah, I can't really show you how to set that up. You'll have to go and look into somewhere else. I can't export my profile. Okay, I can export my profile, so I'll just do that quickly then for you, and you can import that as well. I'm assuming, yeah, okay, so you would just export this, and then you would just import it. As I said, I'll have a link in the description where you can just import all this stuff once you've installed the add-on. And then the last thing I'm using, which is a really big deal, is Bigwigs Bossmod. So Bigwigs Bossmod, now I'm certain I cannot export my profile here. Yeah, I can't, unfortunately. There might be another way, but I don't know how to. So you have to set this up yourself, but it's not really a big deal, because all you need to do really is press toggle moving anchors and just move everything around wherever you want it to be. So I have my bars up here, my emphasis bars here, messages here, and as you can see, I can just move them around. And then obviously my proximity display and info box I have down here. I'm going to also show you just how to set some stuff up quickly. So if you go to bars, obviously you can change out the size and whatnot. You can create test bars just to see what they're going to look like. And as you can see, they're spawning here. When they get emphasis, they come down here. And then also you can just change how they look and whatnot. One thing I recommend is going to emphasized bars and changing the emphasize at time to whatever suits you best. When you see a mechanic coming in, when do you want it to be like really emphasized for you? Mine is at 11 seconds because it gives me a lot of time to prepare. But yeah, those are the only real two things I feel like to show you. All these other things you can mess with if you want to, but that's how I have mine set up. If you're using DBM, I'm sure it's really similar. I can't show you how to set it up, unfortunately, but it shouldn't be too rough. I feel like you should be able to do that fairly easily. And now I'm just going to go through my add-ons that I have installed and just show you some more of the stuff that isn't shown on here that you can install. Advanced interface options, I'm obviously using that. If you see my lag tolerance video, I like it because it has all the old stuff they removed, where I can go to combat and change my lag tolerance and other things that you might want to check out. So I like having that. Angry assignments is just another like type of, you know, RT note, which you can see here. If I toggle the lock, this will just show the notes from angry assignments. It is basically the exact same as ERT note, just an external one which we use sometimes if we want notes for healers here and notes for raiders here. Obviously Bigwigs, details. I'm using Gladius, but I'm not going to send you anything for that because I haven't set up anything fancy for it and I rarely use it other than PvP, which I'm not doing much of right now. Little Wigs, which is just a dungeon version of Bigwigs. Minimap Button Bag. Now this is really awesome because this is like a little add-on that sits up here next to your minimap, and it will come, you know, when your minimap's cluttered with all these little circles and it's blocking your mail and whatnot. I have this one button bag that just sockets all these things in, and you just have to click it for them to show up. It just cleans it up nicely, and I love this add-on. Another add-on, I have obviously Mythic Dungeon tools for Mythic Plus. OPie is a really nice add-on that has a lot of cool uses. So I'll just show you now quickly. If I hold Alt-E, as you can see, I can get a circle of raid markers, which I can then drag my mouse over and let go, and it will summon that world marker when I click. I can do the same with Alt-Q, which I have like individual markers for, so I can target this guy and mark him with a diamond or skull, or cancel it, or mark him with a skull, mark this guy with a diamond, quickly mark this guy with a moon, and you get it, right? It's just a nice way to just quickly access these raid markers without having to go too far away from my screen. And to set this up yourself, you just need to go to interface add-ons and then go to your ring bindings. And then you can set up what you want these bindings to be. So I have Alt-Q for my target markers and Alt-E for my world markers. And you can also set up some other ring bindings for your combat spells, your portals, trinkets, quest items, and all sorts of things. And then you have some custom rings as well, which you can make yourself, which you can put different spells on. Like whatever spells you want, like your potion and your combustion together in there somewhere. I don't know, you can do all sorts of fancy things, and I really like this add-on. It's well made, so it's something you don't see on my streams and videos that often, but it's something I do use quite regularly. RC Loot Cancel is just for distributing loot. Simulation Craft is just to get my sim data into raid bots. My Weakauras actually is a very important one that I almost forgot to mention, so I'm going to give you some of my 5 major Weakauras in this video too as well. Weakauras is a very important add-on I use because it allows you to get important information about your character at the time and your buffs and whatnot, and put it in other places, and also is useful for a lot of other things that I'm not too certain about, but I know they're being used in like smart ways that make dealing with mechanics and raids a lot easier, for example. So they're just really cool. It's a way to set some conditions for certain things, and yeah. So I'm just going to hide my Blaster Master one right now because that's from the previous expansion. It's not really relevant anymore. We're going to be giving you these Infernal Cascade and Combustion Weakauras. So what you'll do is you'll just go to import, you'll look at the link I pasted in the description, you'll copy the string, and then you'll just paste it in here, and then it'll show up in the center of your screen. Then you're just going to click on it, like here, and then you're just going to drag it into position wherever that you want that to be for you. I have mine down here. If you want it elsewhere, you can do that yourself. Otherwise, that's all for the add-ons. There's not really anything else. Obviously, I have all this stuff in the background, but they're not enabled right now. I could delete those add-ons, and I wouldn't have a problem. I don't need them to play this game. All the other add-ons are really nice in my opinion. It makes a nice clean UI. Not many people like my UI in my guild for some reason and flame me for it, but I really like my UI. It's, you know, it's got everything I need in it, and I can just put my eyes in the bottom of my screen and see all the important stuff that I need to know. And if I look up, I can see when mechanics are coming in and whatnot. My eyes are sort of like located all around where my mouse is going now. Now, the last thing I need to show you before the video ends is I need to show you how to set up the raid mark, or my raid frames. So in ElvUI, I actually have the raid frames disabled because I didn't like them. I just like the normal Blizzard ones. So I'm just going to quickly try and find a friend who can join my group so I can use them as a guinea pig to set up my raid frames and show you how it's done. So yeah, big shout out to my guildmaster / officer Total Death. This is his alt. His name is Total Fell. He is doing me a huge favor here. He doesn't realize that this is being recorded, but I'll show him that later. Either way, thank you Total, and I'm going to use him as a guinea pig now to show you how to set up my raid frames. So once you're in a raid group, as you can see, you're going to have, I'm just going to convert this to a raid quickly. You're not going to be able to see the other frames, unfortunately, because I don't have enough people. I'm sorry about that. Either way, I have a few options here. So I have a primary setup, which is I use for dungeons sometimes, and I have a raid 20-man setup. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to interface. We're going to go to game. Going to go to I believe it's raid profiles. Yes, it is. And then we're going to go to here and we're going to create a new profile. This will be for you. I can't give you this. You'll have to set this up yourself. And then we can set a starting point. I'm just going to start from default because I want to show you how to set it up. I'm going to call this raid 20-man example. And now, as you can see, we have the basic raid frame UI that everyone has when you play with a Warcraft, which shows up in the top left here. So now, how am I going to change this? Well, first of all, we're going to move it around. We're going to click on this arrow here. It's going to bring out this panel. Then we can press unlock. By doing that, we get this nice little UI interface, which we can use to change things up. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to bring it into the bottom right of the screen where I want my raid frames to be. I'm going to just move this around a bit. Now this bottom bit is obviously going to snap and stop people from being below that. So if the group was to fill up and it hits this point here, one of the members, then it would start filling up from this point on and keep doing that over and over again. But now there's a few things I want to set up here. You can set this up however you want. I want to be using these frames all the time because I just like having these type of frames instead of the group ones. So I just press use raid style party frames, or you can do it yourself and have it activate on certain player amounts, so you don't have to, you know, if you prefer your group frames, then sure, and then when you get into a group, it'll activate on them, and then when you get into like a 10-man group, it'll activate the frames, or you know what I mean, right? Either way, as I said, I just have it on all the time anyway, because I like having these frames. And then we can edit a few things. I like having my frame height about like this, and then a bit more width, and then I can change that bit in a bit. So I don't like having the border around it, so I get rid of the border. I like having the class colors. If you don't, you can just remove that. I have mine on. I only have pets enabled when I'm playing healer, because I do like to heal the pets when they need healing sometimes, but otherwise I don't have that enabled by default, because it makes the UI a bit messier. Obviously you want to show debuffs at all times, because you want to see what other people have going on, so I have that enabled. Display incoming heals is quite nice because you can see obviously if you're being healed or not. I think that's very nice to have. You can display power bars if you want to see your healer's mana and whatnot, which I have enabled for group content but not for raid content that much. Display aggro highlight is just going to obviously show your aggro whenever people come around you. And that's all there really is to all these options. And then I'm going to go here and now as you can see I don't have any text shown because I don't feel like it's necessary. It clutters up a bit. If you want to, you can put your health remaining on there, you can put your health lost or your health percentage. I think I have health percentage on sometimes, but I'm unsure. I can't remember that well actually, but it really isn't that big a deal. I don't look at it that much. I don't need to see what health percentage on people are on because I'm not a healer. As long as I see their bar is slightly full, I know they're alive. Then I really like doing this option here, keep groups together. Keeping the groups together is going to make it really nice because it means that instead of having to always go press O to look at my group and be like, oh, which group am I in again? Oh yeah, I'm in group 1. When you know you're ready to say group 1, go soak this. Instead I just have this group 1 label so I know, oh, I'm in group 1. I don't have to look elsewhere. It's really nice. So I'm going to go to interface, going to go to raid profiles again. I like having mine horizontal. It's obviously up to you how the preference is. And that's all there is to my UI. And then all you need to do is just adjust where you want this to snap. So obviously I want group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. I'll just drag this down a bit. And then when I'm actually in the raid group with more people, that's when you can actually edit this more. And you're like, oh, this is actually way too big. Then you can just bring it down a bit like this. And then just like that, you have it set up. And you can do this for, you know, many different types of content and then save it. And then whenever you want to swap your UI, obviously then when you're done you just lock it so you can't accidentally move it. And then whenever you want to swap to your UI, you just go here, you open this panel up here when you're in the raid group, and you just go to, oh, I want primary on, which is my dungeon one, or I want raid 20-man on, which is what I use for 20-man, which as you can see is pretty much the same. And yeah, that's all there is for setting up my UI. I'm sorry this video went really long. I ended up getting really passionate about it and talking a lot more than I probably needed to. For some of you that just really wanted to copy and paste my UI, it's turned into more of like a video that is setting up my UI and just showing you the usefulness of everything. Either way, I hope you found this video enjoyable and helpful, and yeah, I really hope you have a good day, honestly. If you want to help support me, be sure to check out the YouTube channel memberships. Be sure to subscribe, although if you're watching this far, you probably already are subscribed. If not, why you hurt me like this? And if you want to help me in another way, you can also go to the Patreon and check that out. A big thank you to my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters. Honestly, you guys, I cannot thank you enough for willing to donate your money to me, and it really helps put things into perspective and help me focus more on making these videos, which I love doing. So thank you so much for that. And yeah, as I said, I hope you all have a wonderful evening or day or morning. For me, it's like 2 AM right now. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.